Hello everyone, welcome to LearnQAEasy.com. In this video, I'm talking about test case. Today our class agenda is what is test case and what are the items of test case, the main characteristics of good test case and types of test cases. So the first question is, what is test case? Test case is a description of what is to be tested and what data to be used. So basically each and every test case we can treat as one individual document. So test case, it's one individual document. So what it contains step-by-step process. We are going to test some functionality. So how we gonna implement our testing? We can write step by step in this test case document. So what is the use? We can use this document while we are testing the application. We can follow the steps and we can implement our testing. At the same time, for further releases in future, we can use these test cases to conduct our testing in future versions. So what it contains actually, what is the format? Let's discuss. The format of the test case. Test case should start with one unique ID. Unique ID means if we are providing any ID, we should not repeat same ID in entire project. For example, my requirement is technical requirement 1.2 login. I'm going to write test case for this requirement. So basically I can follow one format like TC test case underscore 1.2 underscore login. So you should give one unique ID like this. Okay, then other, who is writing this test case and on which date you are writing this test case, and what is test data you are going to use to execute this test case. Test data means whatever the data we are using to execute this test, all the data you can call it as test data, like your username, passwords and other information. Okay, so all the you are searching for some products, you need some criteria, right? So whatever the criteria you are using while you are executing your test case, the data will be present under test data section. Precondition. What is precondition? To execute this test case, if you want to, I want to execute some function to set test case, I want to test some functionality. To test that functionality, first I should configure some configuration in application level or some database level. Okay, you have to put under precondition. Sometimes you need to update some columns in database before going to execute this test case. Okay, for example, there is one blog in my application functionality. Okay, so according to my functionality, according to this test case, comments link should be hide. How can I hide this comments link? Login as admin user and uncheck comments checkbox in administration. Okay, uncheck. Then only you can hide the comments. So what is the precondition here? First, login as admin, uncheck comments checkbox and save it. You need to mention that here. Sometimes in database, in some table, I need to put yes or no. If I want to show comments link on my application screen, then put yes. Sometimes I want to hide it. In that case, you should put no. What I have to do now, go to the database, go to that table and put particular show comments no. This configuration should be right under precondition. So before executing this test case, I will check, is there any precondition? Yes, some precondition is there. First, I will finish the precondition, then come back, then execute your steps. Okay, what is test data and what is precondition? I hope you guys clear. Then requirement. which requirement you are verifying. I am verifying technical requirement 1.2 login. Then after that, I need to write one table here. Here you can see steps, description, and expected result. So what is description? Description means user action, your action. Expected result means if we are performing any action, we can expect some result, right? That result will be right under expected result. So this is the format of test case. You need to follow some conditions. You need to maintain some conditions because each and every test case should meet some requirement. The steps, whatever the steps you are writing in the table, the steps should be very clear and everybody should understand, because your test cases may execute by others. Other test cases may execute by you. Okay, so if you are not understanding those steps, there is no use. So that's why you should maintain that quality, and you should write unique ID. Okay, so this is the format of test case. So what is test case? It's an individual document. It contains step-by-step process, how to test, what to test, and what data we are going to use, and what is actual result. Everything you can write under test case. Then items of test cases, like test case ID, precondition, description, expected result, and what is actual output, and status. Let me show you something. In real time, you will get some requirement like this. This is dummy requirement. Okay, so this is the requirement. What is the requirement here? By clicking on login button, user reaches login page. Show so and so header on top of the page. Below the header, show username, password, employee ID edit boxes in separate lines, and show login to drop down which contains selectable values, and below the drop down show login button. So what is this requirement? This requirement about some login screen. Technical requirement 2.2 login page. I'm going to analyze this requirement now. Let's see how to analyze this requirement. I'm going to draw one diagram for better understanding, and I don't want to miss any steps. Okay. In the requirement, the first line is clicking on login button, user reaches login page. So there will be some home page. Open the home page. Login button will be there. Click on it. User reaches login page. After reaching this login page, the requirement is show login to your PSS account on top of the page. So here login to PSS account. Some header will be there. Below that, username, password, employee ID, edit boxes should be present in separate lines, means one by one. Below that, login to, one drop down will be there. This drop down should contain two values, application and something. Then one login button will be there. So according to the requirement, my application screen should be present like this. I'm going to write test case for this requirement. Let's see how to write the test case. So as I told you, test case should contain some items, right? Like ID, other, date, next precondition, test data, and what is the requirement. So here my requirement name is, ID is TR2.2 login page. So I'm going to give my ID like this, TC_2.2 login, other something Ravi, and precondition. Is there any precondition required? No configurations, nothing required here, right? So directly you can execute this test case. So that's why I'm putting not applicable, NA. Test data. We need any test data to execute this test case? No, just we are verifying UI part, right? The screens and edit boxes and other fields are present or not. So I'm going to put not applicable. If I'm writing test case to log into the application, in that case I need username and password. I want to I want to write some test case for registration. In that case, some data required, first name, last name, and other unique email ID, some other information will be required. So in that case I can put all the test data over here. Okay, so the requirement is technical requirement 2.2 login. Below these items, steps, description, and what is your expected result, and what is the result. Sometimes you can see some comments also. Okay. Step 1. What is step 1 here? First I want to open my application. As per my analysis, first I should open my home page. So how can I write? Enter www.learnqaeasy.com web, the URL. If it is web application, you can put URL. Otherwise, if it is client based application, then you can write open the application. Okay, so in real time usually you can see IP address. So you put IP address, enter so-and-so.com into browser and click enter button. If user is performing this action, what is your expected result? Application home page should open. This is my expected result. Okay, step 2. What is step 2 here? You need to click on login button, right? According to this diagram, first you should click on login button. So click on login button. Okay, so if I'm clicking on login button, it should launch login page, right? Next, third step. First I need to verify the header. Log into your PSS account, header should be there, right? So I need to write look for or verify, look for header. So what is your expected result here? You need and one more thing, you need to maintain some qualities. If there any button link, you should put it in click on login button, right? So put login in double quotes. That is one standard. Okay, so right now I'm going to verify one text, right? So put it in double quotes. Like what I'm going to verify? Something log into PSS account. Header should be display on top of the page. Okay, so position also important, right? If developer is showing that header in bottom, it's not correct, right? So you need to put the position also. Look for header, and after that you need to verify fields. Look for or verify username, password, employee ID, fields. So all these fields like username. So already again I'm telling you, you should put it in double quotes. username, password, and employee ID. Edit boxes should be present in separate lines. As per requirement, you need to verify the positions also, right? So separate lines. Then fifth step is look for login to drop down. Okay, drop down login to drop down should be present below employee ID. Next, I want to verify the values containing values, drop down containing values. How can I do that? First, I need to click on the drop down, then only the drop down will be open, right? So click on login to drop down. Once I clicked on drop down, then verify the selectable values. Whatever the values as per requirement, you will put the values, some application or something. Then seventh step, click on login button. Okay, or verify, sorry, you need to verify the login button, right? So look for login button. So login button should be present below the drop down. So this is the way you can write your test cases. Okay, so here you will mention ID, other, date, precondition, test data, and steps and clear description. So your test cases will be executed by others in real time, right? So that's why steps should be very clear. And one more thing, no if statements, like if user is doing like this, if user is doing like this, you should not write like that. Enter invalid data, click on it, verify the error message, no if condition. Okay, so these are main qualities of test case. You need to maintain that characteristics, like what you are testing, and should be independent, it should not depend on any other test case, and no if statements, and you should maintain some uniform, and test case should be reusable. I mean, if I'm writing test case like I'm putting all the test data in the steps, I cannot use it in next versions, right? So that's why test case should be reusable. You need to maintain that quality. In real time, you can follow the requirement. Okay, next 2.3 error messages, you can write another test case, another test case, another test case. You will continue writing the test cases. First, understand the requirement, analyze the requirement, then decide how to write the test case, then write the test case. Okay, different types of test cases we can see in real time, like unit test case, functional test cases, non-functional test cases, and UAT test case. What is unit test case? Unit test conducted by the developers, right? So developers will write, they will follow some test cases according to the coding level. So functional level test cases means boundary value analysis, ECP, UI, all these test cases comes under functional. What is non-functional? The performance test cases and security test cases comes under non-functional test case. UAT test cases means user level. Okay, so how the user is going to use, they can follow those scenarios and they can test the application. I hope you guys clear about test case and types of test case and what are the qualities we need to maintain while writing the test case, and how to analyze the requirement and how to write the test case. Thank you for watching this video. For more details, please log into LearnQAEasy.com. Thank you.